All right, see you there. Okay, so now we should have co-hosting capabilities. Okay. Can you see my screen? You can see my Young Guns training screen? Yeah. I just left it as a Fumble Ruski. Actually, I have one on video. Let's go around. So I just left it as is. For tonight, we're going to be final stretch. It hasn't changed. We got 2 weeks left. Sub-varsity assignments are still changing. Make sure you check with your coaches if you're the R or if you're a different position and you want to just reach out to the coach to confirm. Do that. We'll get into huddle. Final stretch. This is legitimate. Like I said last time, stay flexible. Nagging injuries are starting to rise. We got to keep staying in the book. We got to keep staying in the huddle. Details make the difference between crews. As we start to be evaluated, there's going to be separating points. As we start to separate from one another, time in huddle, score on a test, your average score on your crew for the TASO test might get you up there. So if you've got an 80 on the TASO test, you might want to think about getting to a 90 to improve your crew score. So these are going to be the fine details as we start to go week to week. Starting after the 6th, we start to go week to week. Playoffs for 4A and below, and then regular season for 5 and 6A. So it's an important time. Last but not least, help each other, communicate, schedule some calls with each other. The only way you're going to get better is when you start to work with a group and a team. I had a couple questions today. I reached out to a few guys so that way I could get it right, make sure it's in my head as such. So reach out, just say hello, and keep helping each other. Sub-varsity assignments are changing. Stay flexible. Huddle plays, communication, appearance, pre-post, dead ball. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get in today's, stop sharing, get into today's call. Well, where'd it go? There it is. Any questions so far before I switch over? Oh, okay. Gunslingers that are on the call, feel free, step in, be vocal. This isn't just the me show. I love the interaction with the rest of us. So you start to see some, please put your sense in. All right. Ken, you gave me this play, correct?
Not the one I'm looking at right now.
Yes, you did. The kickoff. Oh, this is Ryan Murphy.
Yeah.
Ryan Murphy, this is yours, right?
Yes.
So this first kickoff of the game, 7-man crew, right, Murph?
I think it's a 5-man crew.
5-man crew. Okay, thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. I'm looking at the 2 top here. So 5-man crew, get your 5-man hat on. Who's into the middle? Who stays on the sideline? Talk about communication, positioning, depth. Start to think about these things as this play develops.
Eric, you froze up.
Okay, thank you for telling me. You do have these plays that I shared with you already. They're in your home screen, so the internet really shouldn't be necessarily an issue if we're talking about this particular play here. You should have it in your computer. I believe I shared it with everybody, but thanks. I'll try to work this out. So short kick, caught around the 20. Actually have a little reverse, handoff, and now he's starting to take it up the numbers. He's Doing well. He's now at the 40. He's at the 50. Right about the B45. A player, return player, starts to line up. He blocks low towards his own end zone. As a defender. Do I have this right, Murph? As a defender.
Yeah. Defender.
Excuse me. This is B. This is a B. This is a defender trying to take out a lead blocker. There we go, Murph. Is that right? Is that better?
Yes.
So we know that on a kickoff, no one can go low to block. So that foul takes place at about the 40.
In full speed, I mean, it almost looked like the guy falls down. I mean, I don't know if anybody else saw something in full speed, but I don't know.
So thank you, Thaddeus. Is the back judge in the right position on a 5-man crew to be able to judge on that? Should he be deeper? Should he have more cushion? He should feel the pressure, and he should already be in his back pedal. He shouldn't be waiting down here at the 50 or the 45 to be able to do that. Ryan, was there a foul on this play?
No. And Thaddeus could be right. He could have fallen down, and maybe that's why they didn't call a foul.
See, I wouldn't have called a foul there because I think he was trying to make the tackle and he just went back inside after the run.
Correct. That's how I saw it too. I mean,
to me, it looked like at the 30-yard line, number 28 White was holding number 64 Blue at the 30.
It seems like he overran it, and then there was another blocker in front of him, so he just tried to take both the runner and the blocker at the same time by going low.
Hey, Eric, this is Joe.
Yeah.
Quick comment here. So
Yeah,
what's the intent of the no blocking below the waist on kick plays? Injuries, right?
Safety.
Injuries and safety.
Injuries and safety. So whether he falls or not, that White goes down with an injury. We just shrug it off because he was trying to make the tackle? Or we protect him and drop the flag?
Protect him.
right. If we think he blocked below the waist, we flag him.
I think intent matters.
Yeah, but how do you know intent? You only see what you see in front of you. If you're not in the right position, now you're playing catch up. I mean, if you were backpedaling and you saw this block, then you could really rule on intent. But if you're trying to move and you're moving forward, you lose intent. And you can only see what you've got in front of you. So you would be supported by going block below the waist because this is a kickoff play, because of the safety. And David Laredo, to answer your question at the 35, I don't think there was too much of a second action to warrant a hold. At the 35, at the 40, there really isn't a second action. The DB spins out. I mean, there's a little bit there, but he was already outside. I don't think there was enough there. I think 79 went down low and he took that guy out.
Eric also looked like 54 was getting ready to make the block, but when he saw him go low, he protected himself. If you look at his hands pushing down.
You talking about 50?
Whatever that lead blocker right there. Is it 50?
Yeah,
or 50?
50.
See how he puts his hands down to protect himself?
Yep. That's right. So, I don't think he was really expecting that guy to go low.
Right. So then I would throw a flag on that play for safety reasons too as well.
And then who's going to call it? The back judge that's trying to play catch up?
Yeah, it would have to be the back
The
judge,
umpire,
but
the umpire across the field, he's got a good view of it. On a 5-man? I mean, I don't know. Joe, you tell me, is that where we want an umpire to be in a 5-man right there just above the numbers?
Is he the one backing up towards the goal line?
He's at the top of the screen at the 30, at the B30.
No, that's not where we don't want him to lead that runner. He needs to stay back here within the 50 to the 40. That's where he should be looking.
He doesn't have goal line responsibility, right?
No, he comes on the field. That's 5-man mechanics. He comes on the field.
Correct. He's on the field, but he's above the numbers and he's running towards the goal line.
He should be more in the middle of the field.
Absolutely. Should be in the
Thank you,
50
Phil.
around that emblem there. Looking at all that, everybody trailing, and probably even seeing that guy up there.
He may be. But from this angle, from where we currently stand, he's clearly, when I say the LY, it's serious. I don't even like using the LY word. That's just twice today I've done that. I'm listening to y'all too much. You got to get away from clearly, absolutely, et cetera, et cetera. The film shows that this umpire has a good angle to be able to see this guy low and make contact. If you're going to be out in front, you got to officiate like you're out in front. Have we beat this one up enough? Okay, is this you, Ken? This is yours, right, Ken?
Yes.
Are you whose crew is this?
I think this is Brock Pittman's crew, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
I don't remember who the crew was, to be honest with you.
yeah, that's the Pittman crew. We got coach on the field. We got coaches on the field. Everybody see this?
Close up
Center
here.
just, center just puts the ball right here. And you're going to have one of these up backs.
So my question is,
Pause.
what should happen right here?
What do you mean by that?
Well, do you have a legal snap or not a legal snap?
Illegal.
Can we go deceptive?
I would kill it and go illegal snap and go from there. But if you let it run, you can go 15 and say deceptive tactic. But I think you're safer doing illegal snap.
Who's going to see that?
That's got to be your umpire that catches that.
Well, let's see where Brad is.
There's a flag that comes in pretty quickly.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's coming from Brad. Yeah, it looks like it's coming from Brad. Brad's in the middle of the field right behind the snap.
Yep, that's his flag.
Ken, do you know the result of the play? Did they go 5 or did they go 15?
I do not know the result of the play. He didn't add that, but he did. He was quick to mention, because I did ask him for permission if we could use this tonight. He was quick to add, you should shut it down. It's a dead ball, and you should shut it down and you know, penalize from there. You should have killed it. But it looks to me like the play continues, because then you have a fumble afterwards, and it looks like we're still watching action after that. So then 4th down fumble rule comes into play.
You have a fumble after that? Did I miss that?
Oh, yeah, watch it. Yeah, let it go.
Yeah, a lineman picks it up and
So ball's out.
Ball's out. So the play should be dead right there where the lineman picked it up.
yeah,
Yep.
where ball's recovered.
So there's all kinds of things happening on this play. And this had to be designed, because if you look at the punter, watch what he does when the ball's snapped.
Yeah. Exactly right. He acts. He's an actor. Coach thought he'd get away with it. But I don't see anybody shutting it down, so they let the play continue.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's coming flying in pretty quick.
He's got a beanbag. He just threw a beanbag.
Yeah, somebody threw the beanbag for the fumble.
Yeah. But I still don't see anyone killing the clock.
Eric,
And we don't have
also-
a first down.
I
And
think
we
those
got
three
coaches
co-
on
I
the
think
field.
those three coaches on the field coming in, killing the clock or something. I don't know.
They're trying, aren't they?
Well, Eric, not only that, the head linesman, the head coach, or one of the coaches in front of the head linesman, there's no way he's going to see that play. As you see it right about, you go a little bit more, now you got that coach in front of the head linesman. I mean, we should have had a flag there no matter what on that situation. You know, I know every week we're always talking about sidelines. And I don't mind to share this. Every week we get when we get evaluated, and it's always one play that at one time the coach comes out, because we've done a pretty good job on the sideline, but that one time, and that's when we get dinged for it, when the coach comes out. Now, I don't want to say similar to that play, but you know, it could be 10 yards down the field, 15 yards down the field, whatever it is. We get dinged for that. So, golly, that should be, you know, he should have just flagged that one completely. Agree or disagree?
I would have.
So none of this would have happened had we shut the play down because it was a dead ball, illegal snap, right?
Yep.
We wouldn't have any of these issues had we shut it down. No fourth down fumble rule, no coaches on the field. Decline the penalty. What's the enforcement? What's the enforcement after this? If they accept the penalty versus decline the penalty, still 5-yard dead ball foul, right?
If they had shut it down, then we had
That
the
ball,
5 yard.
5 yards. Yes, that's correct. And then should have been.
And if they didn't shut it down, then we got the fourth down fumble room where he picks it up, we kill it, and it's over.
You still got coaches
What
on
in
the
the
field.
rule makes that an illegal snap?
The snap has to be a continuous motion, and the snap is a backwards pass. That's what the snap is. So it has to be exchanged to someone. And once that motion stops and nothing happens after that, that's an illegal snap.
Okay, so what the film is showing is that the center moved it back and left it on the ground.
No, he actually
it's
sitting
between
on
his
bottom.
legs.
You look at it
Under his butt. Watch, Brett.
Real close,
It's right
and
there.
right on his bottom.
He's just holding it between his legs, right under his butt.
Okay, got it.
It says somewhere in the rule book that there cannot be.
So Eric, with that being said, if that snap would not have been holding underneath his butt and it would have been simultaneously, and the guy would have picked it up right away, you'd be all right.
Yeah, he would have to have his hands up in there, though.
Yeah, that's correct.
It has to be exchanged. Yeah, you can't. In the rule
You
book,
can't
somewhere
snap
it
and
says,
hold.
Yeah, you can't have. You know, where you put that Fumble Ruski, yeah, you can't have that snap.
The
Hell.
rule you guys are all looking for is 223.
Yeah, the motion of the snap stopped. That's essentially what happened, and should have killed it at that point in time.
That's correct.
Does that answer your question, Brett? Okay. All right, we beat this up?
Yeah, we're good with this one. I just thought it was an interesting one. You got to be ready for anything.
No kidding. Thaddeus, these are some of your plays that you've started to submit here. Before we get on to that, let's go ahead. I see a couple things popping up in the chat. Are those getting answered? Yes, no, maybe so.
Yes.
Thanks, Joe. I saw you changed your arbiter. You went by Joe instead of Joseph. Which one is it?
Brew. Just call me Brew.
Just call you Brew? All right. Yes, snap infraction. That's correct. Okay. All right. So here we go. Thaddeus, you submitted this one.
Yeah, we got to kick off.
I don't need annotations, right? I'm good?
Yeah, you good. He's right there on the 2. He catches it at the 1. And I don't know how many people already saw it or reviewed it and noticed that he's moving and he steps back and nails it.
Are we calling this momentum?
Well, if we call it a momentum, are we putting it back on the one? Or are we saying, because you got one deep wing on the goal line, you got one deep wing on the one. So the deep wing on the one probably should already been standing on the goal line.
The shorts, you mean? But yes, you're right.
The short wings. Correct.
And if you have a momentum, you have a beanbag.
Correct.
5 and in on a momentum, you got a beanbag because that's the spot where you're going back to. Everyone, that is Ellie. That is my favorite little 4-legged creature. She loves to bark at anything that walks by, so bear with me. Okay, so go ahead, Thaddeus.
Now, I said, of course, says when in doubt, it's touchback versus safety. But, of course, they went with the touchback. So it's just one of those.
Do we know how it was evaluated?
Now, I don't know I don't even know if they got an evaluation. I just know in the game they went with a touchback.
So what's the answer to this debate?
It's judgment.
Yeah, when in doubt.
That's right.
One in doubt is a touchback?
When in doubt, it's a touchback.
Yep.
I have a similar situation that my referee got after me on. I had a ball bounce at the 1, cross the goal line, and kind of like where everybody else is at the 20-yard line trying to approach, and I killed it. Instead of letting the returner go and return the ball and actually knee it in the end zone.
Was it untouched before it went into the end zone?
Yes.
Yeah, then you kill it. Untouched.
Then you kill it.
Kill it, yep.
That is a touchback.
Yes. When
Yeah.
the ball is untouched in the end zone, you kill it.
You don't even let the kid try to screw it up.
That's correct.
No, exactly. Don't let it screw
correct.
it up. Call a safety. Call it a safety thing. Let's call it a touchback and let's move on so all these kids can get off the field. So no one can get hit in the back or some other goofiness. So if the ball crosses untouched, then let it go. Call it a touchback. Let's move on. Do we beat this one up? We good?
Yep.
Except that you guys broke up there. I had an audio problem. I was just looking at mechanically. So the headlines, I think this is the first half. So the headlines.
Yeah, play 18.
What's that? The headlines.
Play 18.
The other guy's standing on the pylon.
Yeah, we discussed that when you said it broke up. We talked about that.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about him. He should have been on the pylon. He's got to stay on the pylon. Okay, moving on to the next one. Let's keep it going here. Let's keep
play 4. We have so this view is decent, but the end zone view is going to be better. So I guess just let it run. Yeah, there we go. We talked about, DPI and no call. What do we have?
Man, I'm looking at your back judge. He's in a good spot right here, but almost like he turns his head immediately, like he knows where the quarterback's going. He turns so quick. He turns so quick.
And we got a fade route, in my mind, the receiver's going back as the defender's coming on him. He gets both hands up, opportunity to catch the ball for me. Some might say, well, it's a little contact, but.
So walk through your communication with your referee, so he or your opposite officials, so they can relay this play to the coach. How are you communicating this to your opposite team
Yeah,
So, Coach,
I'm saying it. I tell because I think I think Jim asked what I say. Hey, guy, he faded. You know, they're both going, and their momentum's taking him out. The guy gets both hands up. The ball goes through his hands. At that point, he doesn't pull his arms down or anything. I mean, so I got no DPI. But you know, others say, well, you know, he's kind of on him a little bit. What as you can see initially, both of their arms are kind of together. So.
but he's not being impeded, meaning the key word there is impeded. There's no gain either direction, right?
Correct.
See a clean opportunity to catch the ball right there. No DPI is what I see.
So, but as you're coming back and the play just happened, you're relaying this to your team that possibly was offended. I don't even see what sideline, who's on what sideline. Okay, so you're just hollering down, Coach. There was. What are you saying to this coach? Because he's screaming DPI. What are you saying to this coach at this point?
I think the coach asked Jim. Jim, the coach asked you, right?
Yeah, and I said I didn't see any interference on that, Coach. Although the people in the stands thought there was. At that, he's had a lot of people in the end zone telling him.
So it looks like that defender didn't turn his head around either.
Yeah, but do I have to turn my head around?
That's immaterial. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's no restriction. There's no impeding with the defender on this receiver. So, you know, it's a quick, hey, Coach, there's no impediment. There was no advantage gained here, Coach, and you just move on. He's going to want to maybe talk to you, maybe he won't. But it's just a quick phrase to give him a reference point of what you saw, a quick description of what you saw to get this coach moving on to the next play, and he's not trying to call a timeout, asking for the referee to come over. So what we need to do as young officials is get a repetition, get something in our toolbox that quickly says a description to get this coach on to the next play. Okay? And that's sometimes I think that, you know, we get too bogged into the weeds, but we have to realize what's the second action. Okay? And then there's a quick description. Coach, there was no impediment. We're moving on. And he's just got to go. The defender didn't hold him.
Next one should be another end zone view. Yeah, another end zone view. That's
Okay.
the best view of this one. Okay, so again, red team again. And you can see sideline, you know, is he there a half an inch early, or was he, you know, gonna go out of bounds?
So your deep wing counterpart said what on this particular play?
He said nothing. He didn't have anything. We didn't discuss it. It's just a play, you know, as we were reviewing, I just threw up a couple, you know, plays, and I don't know, Jim, I don't know, we're on the opposite side, so it would have been max on that side. This is the second half.
Ball's here, both looking.
I say a big key on this one is at least the defender's looking back at the ball.
Right.
Now, is he going through the player early, or is he trying to get to the ball?
Yeah, a little bit of both. But I know, but you know, we have the benefit of slow motion, and you know, he does have the opportunity. His feet are still in bounds enough to be able to make this catch. Let's see here from this angle. This angle. Nope.
Yeah, the other two you don't get the end zone view was good, but you don't get this good zoom in. See it, yeah. Of course, the same coach got his hand up saying pass interference.
See, there's not a lot of contact right here, though. I mean, sure, it's an angle. Yeah, we can tell that on the end zone view there was a bump there. But he's not – I mean, his arms are going over the body. His other arm is going through the arms. So, you know, from a description standpoint, defender was higher. You know, if you needed to, you could say, Coach, you know, your guy wasn't – they're both going for the ball, and the defender made a more athletic move to get that ball knocked out. If you needed to do a quick description. He's not going to like it, but at least if he's taking notes of what you're telling him, he can reference something saying, oh, yeah, he did say that the defender made a more athletic play.
Okay.
This is what? This is, yes, okay, I know what this is here. So let me back up. It's third down, 3rd and 4. We're at the 23. No, yes, 23. We're at the 23. I don't think this has got a good angle on it either, does it, Thaddeus? I think it's just the wide angle. The all 22 is the best one.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, no, this one's pretty good. So here we are, receiver and DB hand checking, moving down the field. The DB is staying tight. There was a little motion by the receiver to create something, but there was no separation in this particular play. You can see the arm is here, but there's no extension. There's no push off in this play to create a separation with the DB. The receiver was able to go up. The defender was still on him. No impediment. He came in out of bounds. I'm going to say he caught the ball and landed out of bounds. There was no come in out of bounds. So he landed with the catch out of bounds. And this particular play, you can see that. Right, Thaddeus?
Correct. Yeah.
So I'll let you make your comments
So
on that point.
Well, you know, it was called OPI, and like you said, on the 23. But the next place the ball that is put in at is not 15 yards back.
10.
It's put in
That's
10.
what I noticed. That's what I thought.
Because somebody watched an NFL game. Versus, and also, I always tell people, how many times do we have OPI in reality? How many, so when we don't have things, guess what? We kind of screw up enforcements. Because we just don't have it.
And so this was a very long conversation during the week about this particular play. And the other thing that is that this particular side judge here, we started outside the 20. We were on the 23. So 25 and in, we're on the goal line. And the side judge on this particular play was almost on the back pylon. In reality, he should be back here by the dotted media line.
Right.
For the deep wings. So all he has to do is just turn, and you can see here that his left foot steps out of bounds right there in the white. Play is incomplete, but we have a call to OPI. So as Thaddeus mentioned, we started at the 33. So still third down.
And again, like I said, we don't have a lot of OPI, so we kind of messed those up.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
Eric, I'm looking at that play, and that coach goes all the way down to the goal line, man.
Oh. Well, no, this end zone view is going to tell us that. I know he was kind of hanging out by himself. Thank goodness it was just him down there. But I agree with you. I know he started at the 10. He started walking down. He saw it. Oh, Hubbard. He's a good friend of mine, you know. Oh, Coach Hubbard. Gives me a hug every time I see him. Wants to know the call. This is one of those times where you would love to have your fellow officials have your back. Great time for a little warning because the 10 is a hard line. But I don't even know why. I mean, he's obviously concerned that there was an OPI there. So you're right. Coach, you got to stay at the 10. All right, Thaddeus.
Okay, next we have, this was a targeting call. I think this should be the targeting, right? Let's see. Yeah, right there, number 24 coming in. There you go. You stopped it right, right there. Helmet to helmet. They went with a non-flagrant targeting. Oh, we went with a non-flagrant targeting.
Why?
I wasn't part of the discussion. I think they didn't have the indicators.
Other than lowering his head?
Correct. And, poor tackling. I think it was, we only had one flag, but it was, I think 3 or 4 of them discussed it. The deep, the short wing, the R, and I think the ump was part of the discussion.
So based on the Tasso trading last week, it is always non-flagrant unless all officials agree it is flagrant. All officials who viewed the play.
Well, you see more than just and you're right. We only had one flag on it. So, I don't even know if the rest of them got a good view.
So helmet to helmet is not part of our categories. I guess the questions would be if there's a launch, or we start off as defenseless, and the runner is not defenseless. So
he's in the grasp of another defender.
I mean, he's still moving. Is the play dead?
No, it's not dead yet.
Play is not dead. Play is not dead.
No, but the defensive lineman's also helping that helmet to go down, I think, as well. If you look on the back side of 22.
Yeah, we're not considering them defenseless. Then after they're defenseless, then is there a launch? Do they categorize a launch? Or if not that, then they'll be looking for the crown, if they put the crown in there. Otherwise, it's just a hit in the middle of the line. They happen all the time.
But defenseless is not determined by whether the play is dead or not.
So what? The 22 is the runner, right?
Yep.
Is he defenseless?
That's a tough call. That's a judgment. He is in no position to protect himself from the guy that's doing that helmet to helmet.
Well, listen, let me interject something here. You're looking at it in very, very slow motion. At high speed, the guy that's on his back, at that point, he's still almost standing upright, before this guy comes in low. So as a defender, you can't judge where that body of the guy you're tackling is going to be you know, at a split second before you make that contact. So there's a lot of factors you play in here. It's not just because his head is down or this or that. It's where the guy is when he comes in my opinion, of course. You know, but to me, you know, you got to look at where that runner is before this guy makes contact. I mean, it's a split second when you think about it.
Also, Eric.
It's not like he's sizing him up, you know, and like, man, I'm going to knock the crap out of this guy. That's not the intent here. And I think I definitely agree with Joe on this, that in this particular case, I don't believe we have anything there.
Yeah, and the rule on defensive player, I mean, right, it doesn't define any of that he doesn't fall into any of those categories by the rule book.
No, he's also moving forward. He's also running hard, moving forward to get that extra yard or two. And the guy that's making the tackle is pushing them forward too. If you look at it, they're going forward. So
yeah. A defenseless player can be a player that's in the grasp, but if a player's in the grasp of like a running back, for example, can be a defenseless player if he's in the grasp of
That's correct.
But if his progress is still going forward, is not defenseless. His progress has to be stopped in order for him to be a defenseless player.
Yep.
We bring in momentum.
Correct. And in this situation, he's going forward.
That's correct. So we can say that this is just a hard hit. That's where we'll put this.
Agreed.
Any other questions on this?
And you're basing that on the way the running back's moving, and when he went down initially with the helmet, it wasn't it's just right. He went, and then a half a second later, this guy's body moves a different direction.
Yep, his angles change. '64, Thaddeus.
Okay. This was a progress, no progress, 4 progress, stopped or out of bounds. So you can kind of see the play. It seems kind of simple that his 4 progress stops, gets hit back, and you can see the short wing kills the play, but we started right back up. Sometimes, I guess, it seems like newer wings sometimes tend to want to stop it when they go up, but you can easily see. And initially, I didn't even kill the clock because I'm like, and we came in like, nah, his 4 progression was stopped. Let's get that going.
So you use the LY word. So we got to get the LY words with easily. Got to get that out. But you can see from this particular angle, contact was made at about the 27. And then he went out of bounds at about the 27. So do y'all see what we're talking about here with forward progress being stopped? Is there a question on moving forward versus being lateral and going out of bounds? Okay, good job, Thaddeus. On to the next one.
Let's get this good one here.
What we got? What's the good one?
I think that's this 98-yard touchdown. The best view, of course, is going to be the end zone view again. So he's going, but you can see the deep wings running, and as he's getting down there, here's his players and all his buddies running and hanging out with him, wanting to run down there with him. It was kind of, it was enforced wrong, but when you go back and look at the replay, it was enforced right. Okay, so here's the end zone view. So now stop when he gets on the 10.
Did you guys give him the touchdown, or did you call that?
We did not give him the touchdown, but we did it wrong. But now when you see him at the 10, he's waving and hanging out with buddies. So in reality, it should have been a UNS for him, no touchdown. We did it UNS, but we kind of did it with all those clowns running on the field. instead of doing the sideline interference. We did a sideline also. So we did 30 against him, but by really how he did it, he should have got on sportsmanlike, and then we should have had sideline interference. And that's how it was enforced, but that's not how it was explained in the game.
So you stopped it at the 10 and you took him back 15? That's what y'all
Actually
did?
started, but we kind of lost track with all them clowns on the field. I think we did from the 4.
Okay.
And we took him back 15, and then 15 for the sideline interference. But like I said, we didn't explain it the right way. But like I said, you can clearly see him at the 10 waving and celebrating. And yes, you can see the deep wings getting toasted, which of course we know when you got 98-yard touchdowns.
Not much you can do, right? Not much you can do.
I think it's over by what, the 15 or 20? I guess if you run it, he's already right. Yeah, 15, bam, it's over. And so, I mean, I had a good jump. As you can see where I'm at the 35. I got my cushion, but again.
He's 18.
Yeah, he's 18. I'm 73, you know.
Hey, deep wings, we know you hustle and you move a lot, but he's not looking at the play. He says, oh, crap, I got to get to the pylon. And how long Thaddeus is cheating, he's looking into the middle of the field knowing that he's just going to run, right? He's just looking this way.
Yeah, because I don't have out of bounds I got to worry about.
No, you don't. So at this point in time, the official says, oh, I got to get there. But he's already on the field. He's already moving to being in the green off the white. Is there a coach in the way? Why?
No coach is in the way. He's just running. I mean, fuck, you already know the guys. You're trying to get down there.
He's still looking forward. He's looking forward. There's no turn. He's still got a nice cushion, right? Yeah. So deep wings, back judges, get in a habit. Even though you're turning and running, you got to watch the plays. Because what happens here if he starts waving and high-fiving? Right?
Correct. And so Chuck doesn't see him waving because first of all, at the point he's waving, you got the kids in front of us. So his eyes are on them. So we missed the waving when we see, because here's the kids now coming on. They're at the 40. They're in our area. And then you will see Chuck again. He doesn't at the 10. He looks at, here's the kids at it. They are right there. Waving. Hi, Mom. It's me.
No, this is his boy. This is his boy right here. He says he's got this.
Hey, so I got a quick question. So, yes, I see them on their way, but they're like 10, 15 yards out. You still flag them, or would you flag them just because they went beyond the 10?
Well, yeah, you definitely got to flag them beyond the 10. But you're probably going to get them so you saw me in your white. But you definitely got him at the 10.
So we see this kind of action is a live ball foul.
Right conduct for the players leaving the team area, and you need to get numbers for all those kids because that's their first UNS of the game.
But see, what they said was, there was a lot of conversation. Well, that's just sideline interference for them. And because you're right, you go back and look at it. Well, they're not players. This was a discussion later, but during the game, we just did a UNS on them. That's what we did. We did a sideline interference when in reality, we got the running back that should have had the UNS, and then we were in clear. But we enforced 30 yards.
You should have had a UNS on those kids for leaving the team area. Were they in the white area? Were they on the sideline?
I'm saying we did have the UNS for them, but others were saying that should be a sideline interference versus a UNS because they're not part of the play.
We should have both.
Well, that's what we had.
Yeah, you should.
I'm just telling you that's the discussion. Because if you go back and look at unsportsmanlike, it's really the player or the coach. It's not unless it's a player on the field. But again. It came out right. We still got the 30 yards and no touchdown.
I understand
the
the
end
sideline.
result.
I understand the sideline interference, but truly, there's not really an interference, right? Because they're like 20 yards out. They're just not in their restricted
They've
line.
left the area.
Sideline infraction is what it is. It's not sideline interference because they're not interfering with anybody. It's a sideline infraction. Then once they leave the team area, you have a UNS for leaving the team area.
Yep, I get
Right
that.
here, it's a 5-yard foul.
Yeah, right there, it's a sideline infraction. It's a 5-yard foul. Once they leave the team area, you have unsportsmanlike conduct, and you should be writing the numbers down for all those players that left the team area because that's their first UNS of the game.
So we should have marked this on the 30 then, 5 yards, then 15 yards, right?
Oh, but here's the thing. Did you flag the running back for the unsportsmanlike conduct at the 10?
No, we didn't. That's what I said. We got them with the UNS.
So then no, that UNS for the players, that's a live ball foul, but treated as a dead ball.
As a
Correct.
dead ball. Yeah.
Correct.
Dead ball foul. So the if you don't flag that kid for taunting at the 10-yard line, running the ball, the touchdown is going to count, and now you're going to mark off from the extra point.
Got it. But our karma let us get him anyway for taunting. We just, like I said, we didn't enforce it right. But
okay.
So
Hey, Robert.
James,
Robert,
go ahead.
So you have 4 players outside of the coaching box, or is it 15 just one time, or is it? I mean, it's just so everybody knows.
It's one time. You're going to do 115 unsportsmanlike.
One time.
But you're going to get all 4 of those players' numbers down because it's on all 4 of them. But you're only going to mark off one of them.
Got it.
So on this particular play, you're going to have 5 UNSs. The enforcement spot's going to be the 16 from the original wave to his boys.
correct.
That's a live ball foul.
That's a live ball.
Correct. And then theirs is a dead live ball tree is a dead ball.
Theirs is dead.
Correct.
Theirs is dead.
So for the referees, when you give your signal, you're going to give 1 live unsportsmanlike conduct and then 1 dead ball unsportsmanlike conduct.
Which is what we did, but again, we just didn't do it totally right.
So you screwed it up, but you got it right.
Correct.
So we waived the dead ball sideline infraction. Is that what I heard?
No.
It became a 15-yard.
Okay, got it.
You banked the 5, and it became a 15 because they got outside.
You got to remember, too, sideline infraction is live ball foul, too. So you're not going to mark off 2 live ball fouls. They're going to decline the sideline infraction.
Right.
The live ball unsportsmanlike. And then you have the dead ball unsportsmanlike for the players leaving the team area.
Yeah, so we had 3 signals, 2 live balls, 1 dead ball UNS, and then you marked out the live UNS and the dead ball UNS. Okay, thank you.
Correct. Yep. That was it.
Yeah.
So essentially what would happen with Chuck on this particular play is he would have lost his flag back when they had the sideline infraction, and then he would have lost his beanbag at the 16, and then he would have lost his hat, whatever way. You can go hat at the 16, you go beanbag for the kids that are in the end zone celebrating with his boy. So you'd have 3 different pieces of equipment on the ground. Huh?
And yes, Madison won the game. Really wasn't close. I mean, I think they won by 3 touchdowns. It wasn't. I mean, I didn't even show the first play of the game was a kickoff touchdown. So I didn't want to show me running again, but I had 72-yarder right off the bat.
So we got 5 minutes till we need to get to the next meeting. Are there any other questions about what we've discussed tonight between deep wings, line of scrimmage, referee, umpires, etc.?
Hey, Eric, just a quick comment on that that deep pass play in the end zone earlier with Thaddeus, and it was a no call. You were talking about
the DPI?
Yes. Making contact with the coach and let him know what's going on. Well, he actually wanted me to overturn that call. And I said, Coach, you're asking me to overturn a call I can't even see. And he said, well, no, I need you to overturn it. And I just looked at him and I said, Coach, if my eyes were that good, I'd quit officiating and become a coach. No, I didn't say that. I'm just kidding. But that's
No, but just one.
You talking about this play right here, Ron? This one?
Yeah.
So we had a no call, and what you had read asking for you to have a DPI down?
No, I was just on that.
Ron
deal,
just
no,
had
I'm
to
just,
throw some
I'm-
levity into it.
I
Nah,
just
I
threw
got
something
it.
else in
Thanks,
there.
Ron.
That's all.
I appreciate you. Thanks, man. Any questions in the chat that we need to address, guys? Anything that was brought up in the chat?
No, but Eric, just, with all that long run, the live ball and dead ball and all that stuff, just to slow down and make sure you get it right, talk it through, and don't rush through those things.
Hey, Eric,
So what you mean by that is sequence
Yeah.
and occurrence of event, occurrence of foul.
Exactly.
Hey, Eric, two things I needed to bring up from evaluations I've been doing over the last couple of weeks. Number one, everybody needs to clean up their substitution mechanics. If you're still unsure of substitution mechanics, reach out to somebody and find out. It's still really loose. It's not clean. It's not crisp. It seems like some people don't know how they're actually supposed to do substitution mechanics. The other thing is deep wings. On plays out of bounds, make sure you're coming in hard to assist with those players out of bounds. The proper mechanic when a play goes out of bounds is your line of scrimmage player is going to turn his back to the field, look at those players out of bounds. Deep wing comes in and cleans those players up. If the line of scrimmage guy has to go in there to help you out, drop a beanbag at your spot, get in there and help them out. Now, once those players are cleared back onto the field, your line of scrimmage official is going to get a ball and put it down at the out of bounds spot, and your deep wing gets a new ball from the ball boy and relays it into the umpire. That's the mechanic for plays out of bounds. Any questions on that?
Hey, Robert, I got a question.
Okay.
When the quarterback goes to the sideline to, the coach relays the play, are we still giving a substitution?
If he doesn't come off the field, no. If he was in the previous play and he's coming in just like in between the numbers and the sideline and he's there, that's fine. But if a player comes in with him off the sideline, then you're going to sub him up.
Okay.
Remember, substitution mechanics. After a touchdown, when the field goal unit's coming in, substitution mechanics. Punt plays, when punt team's coming in, substitution mechanics. After a timeout, substitution mechanics. Thing about a timeout is you don't have to do your iron cross, but umpire, make sure to stand over the ball till your referee waves you off. A good habit to get into is if your team's on offense and those players go out of bounds, as soon as everybody starts coming back in and you've cleaned them up, go ahead and sub them up. Because you don't know if those players that are coming on the field are the ones that were in the previous play.
About time to hit
The
it
other
back.
one that you mentioned, Robert, for substitution mechanic is if your sideline is on offense and they end up out of bounds on your side, their side, then you have to come back out with subs.
Yes.
We clear on that? Do I need to repeat that, anyone?
Eric,
That's one that doesn't happen.
if they huddle up on the sideline and then go out on the field, are we still giving them a substitutes?
Was it after a timeout?
Yeah. Yeah, or change of possession because you don't know who's going to be on the field. They got a group of players, more than 11, then, yeah, you go out with substitution, allowing the defense to match.
Okay.
Yeah, so James Gray just asked. So James, what Eric was saying, as I said earlier, is if your team is on offense, as a line of scrimmage official, if your team is on offense and you have 2 or 3 or 4 players go out of bounds, when those players start coming back in bounds, go ahead and sub them up.
Yeah, sorry, Robert, I missed you say that. Okay, anything else, guys, before I end this? Stay flexible. Keep stretching.
Hydrate.
Thanks for coming today. Have a good night.